Hello, and welcome to the seventh episode of the Beyond the Assembly Line podcast. My name is Harsh,
I'm Sommie.
and we've recently been bringing along a lot of guests, and today's no different. We have Professor Prensa, a CEO and founder of TP Global Business Consulting, LLC, the author of emotional intelligence books, as well as the director of the Industrial Engineering and Operations Management International Society. So we'll dive more into his career, and Sommie, take it away.
All right, Professor Prensa, thank you so much for taking your time to come sit down with us and tell us a little bit about your story and teach us about emotional intelligence. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here today. It's a pleasure to share a little bit of my knowledge and experience with you and everybody that is listening to the podcast.
Of course. All right, well, to get it started, we always like to take it all the way back with our guests from where everything started. So what inspired you to pursue engineering? Like, was there a person in your life that influenced you or a specific moment? How did that come up for you?
Yeah, I would say that route or that path in my life, it came by accident. When you say by accident, so my passion when I was a kid is to be a doctor in medicine, specifically a cardiologist. Because I always heard my mom has issue with her health and with heart issue, high blood pressure, those kind of things. So I always say, so I need to be a doctor to help my mom. Well, but the thing is that the very early age, in the teens, I think I was 17 or 18, I had the opportunity to work in a IT department. We call it data processing department for a government agency. So everything changed. So a lot of people, they were telling me, so you need to go to school, because at the time I was in high school when I started working. So they recommended me, so you should go into engineering. So if you want to make money, so I'm faster, so you need to go in that route. So and that was the initiation of my career. So in software engineering, basically that I started because I want to graduate and I have a job. But medicine is a long journey. So,
for sure.
So but my passion was to be a doctor in medicine.
Mm. And you grew up in the DR, Dominican Republic?
Yes, I was born in Dominican Republic in the capital, Santo Domingo. I went to school there, so private university in the city. So I started my career in Dominican Republic, working in the government. Then I started working for banking. That was my first, I would say, in the private sector job. And from there, I moved to Puerto Rico.
And so as someone that grew up in the DR, I feel like every country is very different from the US, socially, economically, academically. So how did growing up in the DR kind of shape your career aspirations? Or did it not at all?
Well, when you were born in an island, for me, that was my thinking at the time. So it's like you had limited, because you have in an island, it's tiny. So when you think about continents like US, so your mind and your opportunity expand. So that was the reasons that I need to go in something bigger. So I did a lot of things when I was young. I was a professor for university with a bachelor degree, with all the experience that I have. So I started teaching. So I want to see something bigger. So in certain ways, I have some reputation in the country. Then in Puerto Rico, I taught for the university. And so I say I need to go bigger.
And in your time, at least in undergrad, did you know you wanted to go into like leadership roles and maybe go on and like found a business in the future? Or did you have any idea that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I always have been a people person. So I always get along with everyone, have friendship. I also like to help other people. Um, so being in a leadership position, it wasn't something that I pursue or I was looking for. So I got it because the leaders that I reported, so they see my potential to be a leader. So I started growing, so, and that was fast. So I started as a manager. In a couple of years, I was vice president. But the magic around was how I treat people, always trusting people, helping others to be leaders and be good at what they do. That's the only magic that I see from my career. It's not something that I focus a lot in the technical aspect of doing things, but it was more about being a leader, helping others to succeed. So that's, I would say, is the magic of good leaders, is to focus on people.
That's super inspiring. I feel like a lot of people really want to hear that there's someone there to always be there for you as a leader. Even though they're above in title, they're still going to help you out and like not look down on you. That's really, really inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. So there was one time on my life, if I remember. So I saw a lot of people around me. They were progressing. So usually in our career, so you want to be a manager, you want to be a director because that means more money. So for me, I have a lot of words, a lot of trust from the management. Always the more difficult tasks they were assigned to me. So because I was like, yes, I can do mentality. So you need me, I am here. If you need me to work on the weekends, I am here. So I'm always available. So that kind of things lies to the management. But I say, but I am not a manager. Just why? So I have a lot of work. You trust me. So I started thinking, because my mindset was before that was to be more like technical. So I like to be in the bits and bytes, so the computer, developing assembly language, those kind of things. So it's at that time I didn't want to like talk to a lot of people. So my focus is to be too technical. But then I changed. I just made that change. One thing is let on people know what I'm doing, the result, the value that I'm adding, talking to other people, getting better for other people, and everything changed. The same person, now you are a manager, now you are a director, now you are a vice president. But the only change that I did was to connect with other people. But technically, I didn't improve anything.
Wow.
So that's the magic that I said. That's how I like the emotional intelligence, because everything is about humans. Right. Regardless, now we are talking about AI, and AI will replace humans. Never gonna happen, because we don't gonna keep ourselves. So it's about people. So everybody knows the let's say in sports. So you know the big name. You know LeBron James. You know Taylor Swift. So what they do, they sell people. The popularity is because they reach more people. So that's the same in any profession. If you do that, so you're going to be more successful.
That's great. That is so great.
Yeah, that's actually great advice.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I would love to hear about like, could you walk us through your first engineering job and like, what did you learn in your early career as well?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, so I was in that, but because of my work ethic, so I kind of liked the curiosity to know more about. So in my mind, I want to be the best software developer, because that was my first job as to software development. So I want to be the best. So that requires a lot of researching, reading. So I didn't do a lot of the like today young people do a lot of parties. I didn't have like too much time for that because I have a specific goal. So I invested a lot of time on reading, doing, participating in workshops, of training. But a lot of things I do it myself. It's some kind of self-learning. So I had that discipline on a Sunday, on a Saturday, instead of being out. So I was at home just looking in the books, reading. As I was mentioning, I like libraries. So that was my place to go. So that put me in the direction to be recognized as good professionals in that area. No?
What do you think about the work-life balance? Do you think that shouldn't even apply when you're earlier on and it should just be working hard like you were? Or like, do you ever regret how hard you worked earlier on and missing out on some things? Or do you feel like you weren't missing out because you were doing what you loved?
Yeah, I think anything that you decide to do, if you have passion and you have desire, and you establish goals where you want to be, and it's a plan. It's like project management. So I'm also specialized in project management. So you need to manage your life as a project. So you need to establish goals, smart goals, specific or just measurable. And so in between, when you do that, for me, it's fun. So it's a lot of people say, "Well, you work too hard," but I was having the sense that I enjoy what I'm doing. So when I develop very complex programs, computer programs, so I celebrated that. So I achieved that goal. So every step that you do, and if you do it with passion and you have the desire to do, for me, it's not a work. It was something that I enjoyed. So I like sports too. So for example, golf. So most of the people that they are the lead players, so they say, I don't see golf as a job. It's a passion that I have for the game. So for that reason, like if you see something as a job, so you are starting, I would say, losing the passion. And then, so it's not something that is for you, like you are enjoying it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that for me, but for my people, so I think you need to do work like a balance, and that's important. But you need to find something that give you the desire to continue doing things. If it's the profession for me, so now writing, learning is a passion. It's something that I can't stop doing it.
I definitely love that you said that learning is a passion. I feel like every time I'm working at a certain like company for an internship or something like that, I loved going to their Udemy page, the company page, or like some other like page that they have, like LinkedIn Learning. And I just love going through the videos, going through the courses. It just feels rewarding, and it's super nice because then you're expanding your skill sets. So I feel like it's part of my passion as well. So that's a great way to put it. I remember in class, I have a hard time coding. So when I was taking Intro to C, I personally didn't like it. The professor, amazing. He taught super well. But one of my passions was actually just playing video games. So then I actually fell into the world of developing video games. And of course, that uses languages like C, C++, C#. And I started learning quite a bit. And then I started making my own video games. And then that became a passion as well. So like I feel like that's definitely a good way to put it. If you have a passion for it, you can definitely like develop your skills.
If you see all the great breakthrough in the history from all the innovators, it's because they have passion for something. So you think about Steve Jobs. We have passion for that, to be in a garage just putting pieces together to get it done. Bill Gates, so all the big name now, Elon Musk, so they had that something in the inner self that allowed them to start doing things and never stop. So
Right.
ask Elon Musk about a work-life balance. So he has passion. He doesn't sleep, just thinking,
Yeah.
and so I can do that. So
Did you have any impactful projects that like helped you develop in your early career then?
yeah, uh, so I will say I had too many in all my career, but if I can think about something that I feel proud, is for example, when I started at the time in the workplace, a lot of people they didn't want to share knowledge because that's job security. If I am the masters, I teach you all the secrets. So I also do martial arts. So if I teach you all the secrets, so you can be me, the master. so so that was the kind of mindset of the people, um, and that also hurt my brow. So my pride. So I started just figure out thing myself. And there was a specific technology at that time. So I'm talking about in the early 80s. So there was a specific technology for storage, not database. So that was a flat file system. And then nobody knew about that. That was brand new, released by IBM. So I was the first one that started using that technologies and teaching the others how to use the technology. So in the country, in Dominican Republic, so I was one of the pioneers of that. So that then I started implementing the technology. So I feel proud of that because everybody says, "So you're not gonna learn that. That's too complex." But I just went to all the manual, all the books, try and error, and then everybody won. So I was able to teach everyone how to use it, and also a lot of people in the country.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
super.
So that was an important thing. So in technology, everything can be done. So it's a matter of figure out a lot of try and error, like you like the video games. But at the time, we didn't have any tools. So like today, we have tools for everything. We have library for everything.
Right.
But when I started, everything you need to create it. So then when I went to a college, that I was having classes about compiler theory, Turing machine theory. So I started creating algorithm for sorting, for organizing data. So I create my own DBMS using DirectFi. So I was applying science to the work that I used to do. So I'm creating those tools to help me to be faster delivering software systems.
Very impressive.
That is
man.
super impressive.
So you just took it upon yourself to learn all these things. It was never someone pushing you. It was just something in you that wanted to pursue, like learning all these new technologies.
It was myself. So basically, I never have like mentor. I have a lot of people that they give me advice, but specifically for the career, it has been my curiosity to learn about new things. So because in sport, I like to be the first. So I always like to be the pioneers. I want to be known as you were the first that implemented this. When I started working for, that was in 1982 for one bank in Dominican Republic, the big bank. So I was the first to develop an online system for all the branches that they didn't have by the time when you go to the bank. So they look for the name in a report, and they see, okay, Sommie has a balance of $500. So, okay, we can catch the check for him. Everything was manual. So I created the first online application that they go in line and they can see, okay, so they have a customer number and find you, and then, okay, we can catch the check. So, and so I did that myself, and nobody asked me to do it. I said, so we can leverage on that because I already know nobody in the bank knew about that technology. It's like called, by that time, CICS. That was the software developed by IBM, so we can develop programs to do that. But nobody knew in the bank because I only was I learned that from the government.
Well, that's true innovation, like at its peak.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But there was a lot of learning in the process. So we're looking for opportunities. It's now with AI. So that's how I tell people. So you need to find use cases. Just think about what can you do, and just try and error. It's trying to get the benefits of this technology.
Well, I want to transition a little bit to some of the other things you've done in your career.
Mm-hmm.
You said you've gone into academia and you've been teaching a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to teach? Like, is that something you always wanted to do? Or is it with time of getting experience, you realize that that's something you're interested in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that started when I was in the elementary school, in high school. I was the one that, for some reasons, I figured out that the people that sit on the back of the classroom is because they don't have the confidence to be addressed by the professor or the teachers to ask to respond to any question. So I always want to be in the front seat. So I always sit in the first line. So I am ready for you to challenge me. So I used to do that because then I was backing everything at home. I always trying to be ahead. So I know this is the program. This is the lesson that we're going to be addressing next week. So in the previous weeks, I was studying. I was doing my own stuff, reading the book, researching. As I said, go to the library and learn more. So when I went to that particular class, so everybody gonna say, so I can say it. So I got the trust from the teacher. So okay, Tony, explain to the rest of the explain to the rest of the class about algebra. So I like math, algebra, physics, chemistry. So I was able to explain to them. So that I feel comfortable helping other people. And then a lot of my course mates, they come to me, so can you tell me how can I resolve this calculus formulas? But for me, it was easy. For me, it was a game. That's you have video games to entertain. For me, I like algebra. I like the procedure, the math. And then so I continued doing it when I graduated from college, so I could teach at the college level. But before, there was vocational kind of institutes. So I made money just teaching software developments. So C language, Pascal, all the basic. By the time basic was a very important language. So that came from there. But I think that the passion for teaching and sharing knowledge came from the very early age in school.
You also pursued business and entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
You founded a consulting company. What inspired you to go off and start your own business?
Yeah. So after certain times, in my case, over 4 decades of working for companies, I tried out in my 20s with other friends. So we established a company, but it didn't go well because it wasn't the timing to do it because of the politics in the economies at that time. So there was a tough time. So at the times, I have my girlfriend, so we need to get married. So I need to make money. So and then after that, so support my family and just work for somebody else. But after COVID, I said that's enough. I think that what I have learned through my professional career, I can share it with other organizations, and the best way to do it that is to establish a consulting company. That I don't have my my time committed to just one company. So that's the I think the rationale to establish a consulting company that I can serve not only USA, it's all the countries. So I have presence globally. For that reason, the name of the company, TP Global Business Consulting, is because my mindset is to serve the world. So I have relationship basically in every country.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's my idea. Continue growing and connecting with more professionals from around the world.
Have you faced any major challenges as you were like founding the company and setting things up? Like, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
Well, when you establish your company, for me, it's like as I said, people, it's like a popularity contest. So nobody know you, or because you have been working, in my case, too many years in other organizations. So people in those organizations know you, but no other know you. So that now you need to create your brand, your personal brand, that people know that Tony Prensa is behind TP Global Business Consulting. So let's give it a chance. Let's talk to him. But you need to create your personal brand. And the challenge is that you are the new kid in the block, and nobody know you, and make business, and make money out of what you do. It is the hard part. So we live in a very competitive market. It's a globalized market. So you are competing not just in your particular markets, you're competing with the entire world. So that's the challenge, is to get to know you. If you have the opportunity to serve an organization, to save your reputation, delivering, doing a good job, and delivering value for what you do.
Well, I think we can go ahead and go to one of your main expertises of emotional intelligence, and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you've written a couple of books on emotional intelligence. So why do you think it's critical for engineers to learn emotional intelligence or have that skill?
Right. So as a human, so everybody's the emotion plays a big role in every human being. So it's something that always has been there, and you can see it in the history. And a lot of people, they put in practice the emotion, but they don't know exactly how the emotion help them to be better leaders, help them to help others. Not until I was in the 90s when Dr. Daniel Goleman came up with the first book in emotional intelligence that he calls Emotional Intelligence. Is the organization started putting attention to that. So why, and there's a lot of research in the topic, so why these companies are more successful than other companies. So they're looking at the employees, they're looking at the leadership. And that's when I consider, so my PhD is in organizational leadership. So when I started looking more on the soft skills of the people, all the leader is about how you manage emotion. But the first thing that you need to do is to manage your own emotion. And that's the self-awareness. First, self-awareness, understanding that the emotion that we have. According to research, there are 26 emotions that have been recognized in people.
Oh.
So understanding the emotion first and then how to manage the emotion is the important things. So now there are two in self is about you, and two other areas are about the others. So social awareness is about the entire community that impact you or you are around them, and then the relationship management. So it is that I'm investing a lot of time. So one book, so I mentioned Dr. Travis Blackberry. He's a psychologist. I am not a psychologist, but I am a practitioner. So for all those years, I learned how to work with people for different cultures and different country languages. So so that helped me to have a better application of emotional intelligence in leadership. So if someone wanna learn about that, so I recommend this book because one of the things that is important in emotional intelligence is creating habits. So we humans, we are a habit machine. So if everything that you can establish those habits, that will gonna help you to learn. Because emotional intelligence, you're not gonna learn because you read a book. It's something that you need to practice, and you need to live with those principles every day. So I recommend someone that wanna learn about that emotional intelligence habits from Dr. Travis Bradbury. It is a good starting point. If you wanna be serious about emotional intelligence. And also read the book of Dr. Daniel Goleman. It's a good help.
Okay. Definitely will. I will probably pick that up in the summer with a couple of classes like kind of piling on top of us, but definitely in the summer I'll give it a good read.
Yeah. So emotional intelligence, like the normal intelligence, the IQ, so it also has an index. So you can measure your emotional intelligence, and there's a lot of assessment in this book. So it include one assessment to measure your emotional intelligence, and there are some research out there that they say for each decimal points that you increase your emotional intelligence, you make 1,300 a year more than your salary. So that's a salary increase just to increasing your emotional intelligence, increasing your EQ. That will help you to make more money. So everybody wants that. No?
Of course.
Can you tell us about a time, an example in your career where emotional intelligence helped you overcome some obstacle?
Yeah, there's too many times. So and before without knowing, so I was using emotional intelligence. So in corporations, companies, everything is about decision making. So when you are making a decision, so your emotion takes a lot of place. So let's say one case that I was asking for a salary increase. So I need to know if this is a good time to talk to you, because I understand you are sad because something, or you are worried about something. So this is not the right time for me to talk to you. So that's the benefits of emotional intelligence, is to know how other people, what emotion the other people have, so how they will behave, and you can predict their behavior. So imagine, so that's a joke. Imagine that you're gonna ask for a girl to date you.
Okay.
Can you, if you can predict the answer, so it's like you prepare the scenario that you're gonna get a yes instead of a no.
Okay.
So the same in business. So that's the benefits of understanding, recognizing, and be aware of the emotion of others, not only yours. That's the understanding your own emotion is the first step. So I have a lot of situations when we need to make a decision. So I know when is the right scenario to address those decisions. There are too many examples of where I use that for everything. And emotional intelligence is not only applicable to business; it's applicable to your own life. So you see the title of this book, the subtitle is "Change Your Habits, Change Your Life." It's not just about, because we are only one. So we play different characters in life. If you have kids, you play the character of a father. If you are a manager, you play the character of a manager in the company. If you are a husband, you play the character of a husband. But it's the same person that you play different characters. In the sense, it's only you. It's only one Sommie. It's only one Harsh. So you play different characters depending on the situation. So that's the emotional intelligence applied for everything. So you want to have a better life, so you need to be emotionally intelligent.
I think that's an important thing to recognize in like each of our individual lives, that we're playing different characters. So like if someone is a father of a 2-year-old, you can't talk to the 2-year-old the same way you talk to your employee that made a mistake. So I think recognizing that those are completely different characters that you're playing is very pivotal.
Exactly. And the more mature are you in managing and recognizing your own emotion, so the better job you're going to do in every aspect of your life.
What are some of the pitfalls that engineers face when it comes to emotional intelligence, and how can they work on improving those?
Yeah, it's like I was telling you that I want to be a laugh rat. To focus too much on the technical aspects, so you take away the humanity out of the job. For engineer, is everything is about bits and bytes. So it's about numbers. It's about just thinking, but without thinking that behind every move that you do, there's a human behind. And I think that narrow view of the entire world is a challenge for engineers, because we focus on, and we need that. We need the focus because let's say if you work in the medical world, pharmaceutical, so that you need to have the focus on what you're doing. But there is a challenge to get out of the bubble and see that there are humans around. I think that's the biggest challenge for engineers.
Yeah.
It's not like people that go to the business school. Business is about relationship.
Yeah.
But engineering, no. Engineering is a lot of dealing with machine, with parts.
Yeah.
That sometimes we forget about that there are human around you.
Right. I feel like a lot of people or young professionals that go into the career, their first thought process is, well, let me get a job out of college and then I'll be very comfortable with where I am. They don't look outside of where they are. They don't look for more opportunities. They don't even go to other areas, maybe even get a stretch assignment or something like that. Yeah, I feel like it's very, very hard for young professionals to get outside of that mindset and not see the bigger picture. But
yeah, definitely.
On advice of engineering students, or since we're on that topic, how do you think engineering students can start prepping for leadership roles, or even before they enter the workforce?
Yeah, I think that it should be purpose in their life, or understanding that leadership is about connection. So if we define the basic definition of leadership is to inspire others, is to grow other people to be a leader. So if you think about that, that requires that you care about others. It's not that to be selfish. It's not just to think about you and my well-being. So you need to think about the development of the other people. So for young professional, getting into the job market, that's the key. So start developing that, and you can practice that communication. So the way that you're gonna convey your message to other people, understanding how people behave, and again, go back to emotional intelligence, understanding that. There's a lot of good source of information about human relationship. Sometimes you have the opportunity to learn about psychology. So the idea is that you need to prepare to be a leader. So there are some other discipline, more in companies, strategic thinking, critical thinking, all those kind of things will help you to be a leader. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be in a room where you need to make decisions. So if the organization see that the best decision come from you, immediately, so, and you have charisma that people like you because you are there to help others too. It's not just to help me. Just on doing that, taking care of the other people, that will help you to be a better leader. But it need to be intentional. It's not something that's gonna happen because I got a job, I work for NASA, and now so I'm a leader. No, it's just it need to be intentional. Yeah. And you need to care, I would say, generously about people. It's not just to fake it. Yeah. So there are a lot of people, they fake it, that I care about you. So I say good morning, Sommie, but I say good morning, so you never know. So you don't know what's going on in my life right now. But you need to care about that. So my last company, I have over 100 people connected. Basically, I didn't talk to them every day, but in my agenda, I have that I need to touch base at least every week with everyone. So I know, they say, Sommie had 2 kids. I know the name of the 2 kids. So, because I also use, so at a certain age you forget things, so I use my nose.
Yeah.
But I know that. So probably in the last conversation he talked about any situation that happened with one kid, but the next conversation I say, oh, how Mary's doing. So I connect with them. So, and that's the thing that people say about me when I leave the organization, that I take care about them. So they never had a boss that asked them about whatever they were happening. But I do that generally because I feel it. I feel it to do this is the right thing to do. So I feel well doing it.
I think I'm definitely going to be trying to integrate that into one of my habits as well, at least for the future. I think like just touching bases with you or the others, or outside of when we all graduate, I think that's a really great way to keep a good relationship, as well as in general.
Yeah, and that's something for students, that you have a great community. So you don't know if the people that are in the same classroom taking the same class that you're taking, they're gonna be your boss,
Right.
or you're gonna be a co-worker in an organization. So now you need to start practicing that kind of thing here. So when you say good morning, handshakes, look the people in the eyes and say, it's nice to see you today. I wish you the best today. The best is say, start practicing that. And this is the best school because you have a great community here, and these people, they're going to be connected with you in some way. So,
yeah, that's a great way to network, and I absolutely agree. Like, I feel like a lot more people should try and get out of their comfort zone, to try and just see how other people are doing, or even just talk to classmates. But yeah,
exactly. So this is an opportunity. That's how another piece of advice that I give to all people that are listening, watching. When you work for a company, that's I always did. So I've been working in different organizations. I work for different company. I see every company as a laboratory for me. So what I gonna learn from this experience? So that's a free something that they giving to use. I giving the opportunity to learn from us. For every company, I always looking the culture of the company, how the people behave, the expertise of the company, what made this company stronger than the other. But for me, every job is a laboratory. It's an opportunity for me to grow, to learn. So it's not because I'm gonna make more money working for you. So when I leave that company, I wanna say, so I learned from this company ABC. So that's a good also the long learning mentality to always learning. But you need to have that in your mindset. So I'm gonna work for this, but I'm gonna learn from this company. You work for NASA, what are you gonna learn from NASA that you can transfer that knowledge to others? And that's an important mindset when you are starting a career that you should have. And that will change everything because when you do that, so you have passion because I'm learning. They pay me to learn. So it's a completely mindset.
yeah, I know. I'm definitely going to be learning quite a bit. Hopefully this summer. So, Somi, do you have anything else?
I think we can kind of get ready to close it out with some advice you have for engineering students. So I know you have over 40 years of experience in different industries, different companies, with your own company. What do you think that engineers, especially younger people like engineering students, can do to stand out in the industry today?
Yeah. So one of the things is like you need to treat you as a product. So you think about any product on the market. So you need to need to offer a value proposition. So what is the value proposition that you are putting on the table? Because today the market is very hard, so it's very competitive. So we are competing with the entire world. Now we have a lot of remote jobs, so that open the market to everyone around the world to apply for the same position. So the professionals that have better value proposition for the organization, those are the ones that are going to have the job. And when you have the opportunity to have those jobs, it's not just about that I want, I there. So you need to keep doing it and excel to be better every day, improving the product that you're offering. Because let's say I bought industrial engineering, junior level. So that's your product. So if you wanna step up, so now you need to improve the product. Now it's not a junior, now it's a senior. So you need to do your work to improve the products that you are selling. Now you can sell Sommie not as a junior industrial engineer, now as a senior. So organizations are more willing to pay for that product. So that means that you need to have a purpose. You need to establish your vision where you want to establish. And I always suggest that you need to have IDP. IDP stands for Individual Development Plan. So you need to create a roadmap for your life. in that case, your career. So where you want to be, what company you want to work for. So what you want to learn from each experience that you have. And you can see it as a roadmap. So I'm going to get to this point, and now I need to do this thing to get to the other point. So that's a plan. So individual development plan is something that I always do with anyone that works for me. So we need to develop that plan, IDP, for everything that you do and create a roadmap of your own career. So don't go by accident. So I just gonna get a job. So what's your purpose in life? What you wanna be? So if you achieve those goals, those objectives, then you can say that you're gonna be happier. So the happiness is also something that is built as you have. There is no absolute happiness. So there is moments of happiness. So you wanna have more moments of happiness, but you need to establish a roadmap. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Where you visualize yourself to be in certain time, and you can establish like we do in Agile. So you can establish sprint. So in 3 months, where are you gonna be? In 6 months, where are you gonna be? Like a quarterly, because if you think in 5 years, that's too far. You don't have idea what you're gonna be, how the world gonna be in 5 years. But you can predict in 3 months where are you gonna be. So now probably, like you mentioned, you are working on your last classes for your career, and you have a goal. So you're gonna graduate in the spring next year. So you can establish those goals, short goal sprints. That's what we do in Agile project management. So establish that. That's what I would suggest. So have a purpose and also do everything with an intention to achieve your goals.
And earlier you mentioned that a lot of younger engineers focus too much on the technicals. But other than that, do you see any other key mistakes that you see a lot of younger people making?
Yeah, that's what we talk about. So the technical is important because that's gonna bring money on the table. But for growth, you need to work on the leadership. Yeah, to knock on the door. So I have all the technical stuff. AI is something that everybody needs to know, because every company that you go, what do you know about AI? I don't know anything about AI. So AI is important. And leadership, emotional intelligence, all those kind of things. So you need to have the full package if you wanna. So you need to be plus A in your career, in this subject matter expert that you wanna go. Because industrial engineering is very broad, so you need to narrow where you want to go in that field. It's that kind of information technology. So I am good in networking, I am good in software development, I am good in infrastructure. So you need to decide what niche you want to tackle, because you can be good at everything. And know your limitation also.
Yeah. I feel like I've always wanted to be the jack of all trades, but it's nice to have like the knowledge. Like it's nice to have the knowledge in almost each like part of my my favorite parts of IE. But yeah, I feel like if I was very like almost like a subject matter expert in a certain part of industrial engineering, I feel like that would be helpful for my career as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've had to learn. Like recently, I used to want to be a jack of all trades and like know a little bit about a lot. But the more I've learned, if I were the owner of a company and I had to choose between someone that knows a little bit about this versus someone that is an expert on this, I just get the expert on all the different things I need instead of getting that one person that knows a little bit.
Right. And for leadership, it's important, as you mentioned, to know, to have general knowledge of everything that you can be in a conversation. But but I say to focus, so you need to have a differentiator. It's like when you're selling something on the market, everybody gonna, what's the differentiator? Why I want to buy a BMW versus a Mercedes-Benz? What is the differentiator? So you need, as a product, you need to have a differentiator. You know about everything, but everybody knows that you can be a SME in everything. But you say my differentiator is the same in leadership. What is your superpower? I'm a great listener. So that's a question that you're gonna ask when you go to an interview. What is your superpower? So I'm a good listener. I'm a good communicator. I am good at connecting with people. So you need to have that and develop that superpower. And naturally, everybody has one. But you need to discover what is your superpower. What is that superpower that you need to develop even further? That's going to be your differentiator among the rest.
Honestly, I feel like I've learned a lot today.
Yeah.
A lot of things I'll take into my own personal life, especially about the emotional intelligence. I think we can go ahead and get ready to close out, but I know you've written a couple books. I know you're big on LinkedIn. Is there anywhere where people can find you, find out about your books?
Yeah, so if anyone want to know me and connect me, so I am very open. So I talk to everyone that want to talk to me if I find the time. So LinkedIn, Dr. Tony Prensa, so you can find me and connect with me. So I also write a lot of articles. I have a couple of newsletters related to project management and project management office as well. So you can follow me in LinkedIn. So now I am starting in Instagram. I post a lot of things, but my main source is LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor Prensa, and I wish you all the best in your career as well. This is amazing. Thank you for coming out again.